Hello, everyone. Jason Hagholm here, back for another edition of Jason and the Gentleman. And joining me, as always, is the gentleman of mixed martial arts, the gentleman, Josh Hill. Josh, we're winding down to the end of summer, which is unfortunate. Finally got some good weather this past week, but we're heading to a good season of fall, especially if you're a big sports fan. Tons of great action, and mixed martial arts and combat sports is definitely one that definitely isn't going to take their foot off the gas.
Yeah, I love summer, dude. It's my favorite, but fall is a close second. So if I could just rotate these 2 months back and forth, I'd be a happy camper. But yeah, fall's good, dude. And yeah, as far as sports, I pretty much man, I only watch nowadays pretty much is just hockey and fights. That's pretty much all I got, and I guess that's all I have time for. I'll watch basketball and some baseball, like the Jays and stuff here and there, but it's hard to follow, man.
Well, hopefully the Jays can make a miraculous run to making the playoffs, which I don't think they will, but if they do, I mean, that 2015 run was one of the most magical times to be a baseball fan.
It's so good. Best baseball I've ever watched. I mean, probably 92, 93 was the best, but from what I can remember, I was super young then, right?
Yeah, same with me. I mean, it was a lot of losing and a lot of bad baseball up until that point in 2015. But as we transition from what was bad baseball for the Blue Jays in the late 90s to mid 2000s to what was maybe bad boxing, but boxing that definitely sold out a house in Cleveland, Ohio last night on pay-per-view with Showtime. It was Jake Paul. It was Tyron Woodley. Excuse me. I mean, all in all, the skill level was definitely nowhere near what you should be forking out for $70. But the pomp, the circumstance, the drama, the selling and marketing of this fight caught a lot of people. And, I mean, I expect it to do a really good pay-per-view buy rate. And, Jake Paul wins a decision.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It was I have such mixed feelings about this whole thing. You know what I mean? Good for those guys for selling out the arena and making good money and whatnot, and good for Paul for coming out of nowhere and using his. I've like I talked about before. It's kind of they started to grow on me a little bit. These guys, you know what I mean? Because they have their shtick and they're using it to their advantage, but he's also it's not just he's hopping in there with no training and just not taking it seriously. The guy's training hard, and for a guy that's only been training for 3 years, apparently, pretty good, to be honest. And as far as Woodley, I don't think it's a lack of skill set at all. I think he has all the tools. He's an explosive athlete. His striking is good. His biggest thing, I think, is mentally. I think he's the type of guy that is hesitant. He waits. He doesn't pull the trigger. He's waiting for the perfect opportunity, and a lot of times it doesn't come, or he doesn't make the opportunity come. And in the fight with Paul, I was, watching. I can understand him giving up the first round for sure. Just kind of, feeling him out and trying to let him, expend some energy to it and get tired. And even giving up the second, even maybe just kind of like how Mayweather did with Conor, and then, but after, he started picking up it in the third round, and then the fourth round, he hurt him, and so I'm like, okay, here it is. He's just going to keep the foot on the gas and finish this off. But he didn't, man. He kept waiting and let him back in the fight and let him kind of just chip away to kind of edge out every round and lose the fight, which was just it's hard to watch, right?
I will say, of the Jake Paul fights we've had, at least this one was competitive, and it showed a lot of what Jake Paul can do. I think he showed a lot of people he can take a punch. Maybe that's more so because Tyron, as you said, did take his foot off the gas after he got hurt in the fourth round. And if it was someone else that had, maybe that killer instinct would have put the pressure on and found a way maybe to get him out of there in the fourth or early in the fifth round. But I don't know, man. I just feel like Paul did show us something. Apparently he's retired as well today after this. I mean, okay. We all know he's going full Conor McGregor style here, where I've done my farewell tour. But for Woodley, I think it was those first couple rounds where, you could just tell he was uncomfortable just in the straight up boxing stance. Like when the first round started, he came out so low. I thought he was going to shoot for a takedown just because of natural instincts of what he does when he in his normal realm of fighting in mixed martial arts. But I mean, and as the fight progressed after Woodley hurt him, you could tell that while Woodley's not going to throw, all Paul has to do is pepper him with punches because he can't hurt Tyron Woodley. You could see that he wasn't going to hurt him or nothing was going to lay damage. But all he has to do is just land a couple nice looking or nice sounding combinations, and he's just going to score the points and win the fight. And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, and just a little more volume, you know what I mean? It wins it. With Woodley, too, I think his issue, and you can tell that he's, wrestling mentality, wrestling based, is he has a problem with distance management. When he does land a shot, instead of stepping back and keeping that distance and looking for other opportunities and openings, he gets in the clinch. You know what I mean? So I think that's something obviously to the transitions from MMA where it's kind of he punches his way in to get those spots a lot. And you can see there he was doing that. I mean, yeah, he was trying some dirty boxing and stuff, but like especially when you have him hurt, get inside, pull back out and keep your range. And he's also doing one pot shots too, like trying just for the big one punch. I'm guilty of doing that too in fights as well. You kind of get in love with it because he does have that power, right? So when you do clip guys and finish them in one shot, like you kind of like, oh, you can do it. So you just want to hit him with that one. But that's where you see great boxers is just like they'll put the 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s behind it and angle off and go to another combination. So yeah, that was like frustrating, just that part. But like as far as them talking about like Jake Paul like fighting somebody like a Canelo man. Like it's
no way.
That'd be like me fighting my daughter. You know what I mean? Like it's just not even light years. Not even in the same world universe. So I mean, it'd be great cash money for him, like to make money. But as far as actual fight, like man, come on.
Yeah, I don't know what his plan is. Obviously, if he wants to fight someone in boxing, I know there's this talks, and he had an altercation with Tommy Fury, who I believe is like the nephew of Tyson Fury, who was in the opening bout on that card. And, he's got a girlfriend that he met on Love Island in UK. So there's all that kind of outside element that can help draw some people in. But I don't know. Like now they're apparently talking about doing the rematch. I don't know if I really need to see a rematch because until Tyron can show me he's willing to pull a trigger again, like I just think it'll be the same kind of a fight. Maybe if he can clip him again, I don't know. Because he did knock him and hurt him, and the ropes is what kept Paul up. And I know Tyron's trying to say that should have been scored a 10-8 round. If it wasn't ruled a knockdown by the ref, I think you kind of got to go with that because there are ropes that can keep you up and stuff like that. But I thought the scorecards were weird.
Crazy.
Like after the one judge that gave Tyron Woodley every round from round 4 on, I don't know what fight he was watching.
I have no idea. I mean, I think I scored the fight 5-3, Paul. I think looking back at it, I'm pretty sure that's what I had it. I gave him. I can't remember what rounds. I gave Woodley 3 and 4 and one other round. Maybe the last round. I can't remember. But
I gave Woodley round 4 in the last 2 because they were kind of like Paul was just dancing around.
Yeah, I don't see just going by the scorecard. I could either see Paul winning it or a draw 4-4. You know what I mean? I just don't see anywhere where Woodley won the fight, really.
I don't see where he could win 5 rounds straight after the 4th round. There's no way where in the 5th round he had him hurt, but didn't, as we've talked about, didn't capitalize and whatnot. Yeah. I don't know. It's judging, whatever. I don't. It's bad everywhere, but especially in boxing, that judge definitely needs to have his scorecard thrown into the incinerator and maybe him get another career path because that was such a bad scorecard. But I don't know. I mean, the spectacle, honestly, it's still there. I mean, Showtime's cashing in crazy money on these Paul brothers. Yeah. So I figure they'll find a way to do something again with, for sure, Jake. I know he says he's retired, but we know that's not true. And maybe his brother, Logan, who has, fought Floyd Mayweather going the distance and whatnot. But, like, just kind of the energy from there and on social media, like, it was a much younger crowd. Apparently the crowd there was a very young crowd trying to get those young viewers into it. And while the boxing may not be the greatest thing and it's more spectacle than skill, I mean, it's working right now. That's kind of the main key right now for what boxing is.
I know. And it's kind of scary, you know what I mean? Like, because some young, 18-year-old or 21-year-old or 14-year-old, whoever was there, the young audience that was there, are gonna like, yo, this guy's like the best boxer in the world, Jake Paul. When we came up seeing like guys like friggin' De La Hoya and Mayweather and Tyson and Lennox Lewis and Holyfield, all these guys that were actually legit, like Gotti. These are like legit warriors, the legit fighters. But now they're seeing just this spectacle, which is fine. I mean, but take it for what it is. You know what I mean? They're not amongst the highest level in the world by any means.
To me, it's also crazy that they're more marketing it to like an MMA fan base. And I know obviously Tyron Woodley, former UFC champion, whatever, he's in there, but there's more MMA media covering these things than a boxing media, because obviously the boxing media, they're not going to, a lot of them aren't going to spend their time on, these or the Trillers of the world, because obviously they want to focus on the fights. But unfortunately, I think boxing has done so much damage to itself of not making the big fight when you should have made the big fight, that now that this has become the marquee for what boxing is, and it's just boxing's own undoing to itself. I mean, I'm fine with it. I like the spectacle. It's kind of fun. It reminds me of Pride a little bit, with that. But I mean, obviously, if you want to spend money and watch talented boxers, wait till October or November when Canelo's fighting again, or when Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder are out there again in October. Like, those are some real. Even look at the undercard. Like, so much talent was there for real boxing, and unfortunately, it's just going to be wiped away from what this fight was.
Yeah. You got the fight like that Montana.
Oh, the Montana Love fight was awesome.
It was awesome. The girl fight was that Serrano, very good. So there's legit talented boxers on there, right? So, but I mean, the one thing I say, like, if that Jake Paul, if he's using his notoriety to start him to get obviously himself big bucks, but also other fighters big bucks, then hey, man, all the power to him. I'd go on the card with him if I'm getting a good payday, right? So yeah, I mean, in that sense, it's he's doing some good stuff for the fighters, which I'm always for, right? We always say that, but it is a spectacle, But like I say, it is a spectacle because he's using his YouTuber name to do this, but the guy is putting in legit work. You know what I mean?
And showing improvements.
Yeah, exactly. So I give him credit there. He's only 24 or 5 years old. Like, he's just starting out his career if he wanted, you know what I mean? So just most people at that age and at 4-0, like, they're on the undercard of undercards and you don't even know who they are yet, you know what I mean? So it's just the difference here. So, it's just using his YouTube fame.
Well, I think your point there of using his fame to help the fighters out is a positive, because, like, if that Montana Love fight happens, as a co-main or something on a Showtime card, not a lot of people other than the hardcore of hardcore boxing fans see it.
Yeah.
But more people now got to see Montana Love. And that fight, as we both said, was awesome. It was probably the fight of the night. Like, just a back and forth rock'em sock'em robot style fight. And you come away with the 7th round TKO, a guy in his hometown as well, in Cleveland. Like, that's a star-making performance in the realm of boxing from Montana Love that, 9 out of 10 people would never get to see if he wasn't on the undercard of this Jake Paul, Tyron Woodley spectacle.
Yeah, no, for sure. Absolutely. So that in there lies like the positive of this,
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, as we said, there's positives. Like, we had Dynamite Dubois making his U.S. debut. He looked fantastic in the steamrolling that guy, his opponent in the heavyweight fight. And we talked about the Montana Love fight, and the women's fight. The co-main event was great. Like, I think Showtime, in a way, they really hit a home run with this, because boxing undercards normally suck. Like, there's a lot of just one guy's going to be so much in control because you're building him up for a future fight, and yeah, exactly. But this one, you had a lot of good fights, a lot of eye-catching fighters for, one guy maybe that'll fight one of the Paul brothers, and just some real good talented boxers. So that in itself is a win for Showtime. You may now get some fans to watching future broadcasts that don't involve the Paul brothers.
Yeah, that's true. And the show itself was awesome. Like, Showtime did they always do a good job, but it was good.
I will say, and I will say that about Showtime, where, when the Pauls were on Triller, And I know when we have Triller in a couple weeks with, De La Hoya and Vitor Belfort and Tito Ortiz and Anderson Silva, well, we want to see the fights. There's like 9,000 musical acts that we have to get through, which I know a lot of people don't like, and I understand that's part of what Triller does, but that just dragged the card out forever. I love the pacing of Showtime. Yeah. We got a fight, a little bit of a hype before, fight happened, back to the desk, whatever. We had to set up the main event, what have you. I thought Showtime did a great job. This was a fantastic pay-per-view with one of the best broadcast teams I think I've seen for a boxing show. Like, give me more Ronaldo and Al Bernstein.
Yeah, man. I mean, I always say Moro's the man, whatever he's doing, he just has that. He has that gift, and he makes it enjoyable and exciting. So, but yeah, it was good overall. I liked it.
It did, yeah, exactly. And for a Sunday night where, some people in boxing, maybe we shouldn't do that. I thought the Sunday night cards are kind of really working out, especially right now where sports is, really just Major League Baseball. I know preseason football is over, but there's still a 2-week gap before the NFL owns Sunday games where, you know what? I loved it. I loved it. Great timing for Showtime to do these Sunday cards, and everyone's now talking about it, in the Monday morning water cooler talk.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I like it. It's just something else to watch on Sunday night anyway. It's like usually you're just kind of hanging out watching, maybe put on a movie or something like that. It's kind of an open schedule,
Yeah, exactly. Well, I thought it was a win overall for Showtime and as well for the Pauls, even Woodley to an extent. Like, he fought hard.
Yeah, I mean, Woodley got, I'm sure, I like to see the paychecks, like what they disclose. But I mean, I think that's all he's going to get really is a good paycheck out of this. I mean, it sucks for him, because he's been on such a slump and I like Woodley. I don't mind him, but it just, I think it's just frustrating. That's the word, because he has the capabilities to win that fight. No, hands down. It was him that didn't win.
Yeah, there's he needs to obviously see like a sports psychologist or something just to
talk to me. I can help him out with it.
Well, definitely we'll make sure he gets your number, Josh, because I don't know. This is a guy that we've seen have so much talent in MMA, and I know obviously the stances are different, but you just got to throw some punches. Like, that's really all it is. Just throw. I know he was worried about the counter punch because you got to respect Jake Paul's big right hand, but there's moments there. If he just threw a little bit more, he may have got him out of there, or at least a knockdown.
Yeah, or it would have been a definitive win. You know what I mean? So it's just frustrating. That's all.
Well, we'll see if they make the other fight, and if Tyron now has to get that "I love Jake Paul" tattoo. So that's going to be, I guess, the follow up of this crazy drama or crazy spectacle that boxing has now become for. But as we transition from the realm of celebrity boxing, I guess you want to call it, to mixed martial arts, where UFC had a pretty fun show on Saturday with Edson Barboza and Giga Chikadze, where we didn't really get enough time to break down that fight, Josh, but what we did get to say was it's pretty much going to be a good stand-up, fun kickboxing Muay Thai fight, and that's pretty much exactly what it turned into. And Giga Chikadze got the third round stoppage there against Edson Barboza, obviously the biggest win for Giga Chikadze, but man, when that guy has you hurt and goes in for the kill, like, he goes hard and fights smart too.
Yeah, he just has that, vast experience in kickboxing and striking, basically. So his distance control and whatnot is top notch. And, I knew it would be good. I picked Barboza, and going into it, I thought, if it actually does go to the mat, I think he, has a better skill set on the ground if it did go there. And I just thought with experience as far as MMA competition, Giga, hasn't fought the who's who but Barboza has in the UFC. So I just kind of gave him the edge there. But yeah, it was a good fight, man, up until the end. And yeah, his striking is good. It's good. So when he closes the distance on you and has you hurt, like you said, he knows how to finish it.
Yeah, he just was able to just pour it on. And obviously you want to go in for the kill, but you don't want to be too over aggressive to, be susceptible to a counter, especially with someone as a respected striker as an Edson Barboza. But he just fought really well. I know Barboza wasn't that happy with the stoppage from Jason Herzog, but I think Herzog's one of the best, and Barboza was kind of just falling around all over the place. So I thought it was a good stoppage, and And Chikadze did the right thing. And it's, two big names in a row. Now Barbosa, and he beat Cub Swanson beforehand pretty decisively.
Yeah.
And now, and he used his microphone time well. He's called out Max Holloway, which I would
one.
love to see that fight, especially with those guys. And if they were able to just keep it strictly standing with, the output that Holloway can bring in that kickboxing style background that Chikadze has.
Yeah, no, that's a good one too. One last thing between those guys fight it's if you want to watch like very good defense, obviously up until the finish, but very good defense as far as striking wise. Watch those guys, how they checked kicks. They check body kicks and leg kicks so well. I mean, I'm sure both their shins are hurting today even still. But yeah, if you see like the way they do it, it's just textbook, beautiful, perfect technique how they do that. But yeah, as far as the Holloway one, if they make that one, that's a good one, man. I think the biggest thing is if Giga can get him out of there within the first round or two, because Max will just keep putting that pressure on it and overwhelm you and probably drown him in the later rounds. So if Giga can put him out early, he could win. Or if he can just keep up that pace, but it's hard to keep up a pace with a guy like Max that and can roll with shots and take shots so well.
Well, it's going to be, I hope they do make this. I know that there's been, they tried to set up Holloway with Yair Rodriguez and that they've tried to again, but like, no offense to Yair, but he's just too unreliable. And if you're a UFC and you want to get a guy like Holloway, who's got a lot of name recognition, being a former featherweight champion and one of the more, drawable guys especially if you put him in a main event spot on like a fight night or whatever, I would go with Chikadze because Chikadze, he's rising up the ranks, but he's also very reliable. Like he doesn't get hurt a lot. He signs a contract. He's going to make the date. He's going to make the weight. He's going to be very professional. So I would love to see that fight, especially as the momentum for Chikadze grows. And, we're coming off arguably the best Holloway performance back in January.
Yeah, I'm in for it. I would like to see that, or I'd like to see him fight Emmett. Josh, our buddy Josh from out there. I know he's still he had a knee surgery and whatnot. So, but I'm not sure his timeline and when he's coming back. But I think that would be going too, just because Josh's striking is such a powerful puncher, but his wrestling is good too. Yeah. So that just kind of makes for that interesting match with him and Giga. But yeah, either one I'm good with.
Yeah, and shout out to all the people covering for the Georgian MMA scene. Or I thought the region of Georgia had like such a breakthrough year in 2020 when it was really hard for anyone to do a lot of things with the pandemic. But they knocked on the door in 2020, and Chikadze is now leading the way with them busting through it and being a breakthrough country with tons of great talent, as we've seen like with Dagestan, just different type of style of fighters.
Yeah, it's a fighting culture, it seems, and they're doing well.
Well, the co-main and the other fight that everyone had eyes on, I guess, was the finale of the Ultimate Fighters, Josh, both at bantamweight and at middleweight. And first of all, let me ask you, did you watch any episodes of the Ultimate Fighter this season?
No. I watched a couple of fights, just like the fights, just to see, but I did not watch any of the actual episodes. So,
well, I will say the show, obviously, they kept pretty much the same as we've talked about before. But if you want to watch a season of just quality fights, this was the season for just the fight fan, really. You can skip through like the challenges or whatever. There's not even that much drama on this season. But if you just get to the fights themselves are fantastic this year. Let's look at the co-main event. Obviously, Brian Battle took on Gilbert Urbina. Urbina was a replacement for Tresean Gore, who did win and was supposed to fight, but I guess he's having knee surgery, so Urbina is back in. And Urbina had him hurt, actually, early in that first round, but just couldn't capitalize, couldn't find a way to put Battle away, and then Battle was able to, be battle tough and battle tested and get the finish with the second round submission to become the middleweight Ultimate Fighter. And one of those stories, again, one of the last picks for Team Volkanovski, and he's like a Kelvin Gastelum. He wins the show, and I think could be a guy that needs some work still, but I think has a lot of good potential with his ability to just get these submissions in. Yeah,
he's definitely a very durable guy that he showed that, and obviously has some skill set. But yeah, I think you're right. He's not going to be an explosive, not going to say star out of the gate, but yeah, he needs to build up some still. And but yeah, good for him, man. And I didn't see any of his fights in the house. I watched the bantam. I was biased. I watched the bantamweight ones, obviously, but yeah, he seems like just looking at the story, the background seems like a cool dude, and showed a lot of toughness in there. And yeah, congrats to him.
He did upset the number one seed Andre
That's
Petrosky,
right.
who
Yeah,
fought on that card as
the
well.
guillotine as well, right? I believe.
Yeah, he had a submission that kind of just came out of nowhere in the
Yeah.
second round, and one of the issues that Petrosky has that he even admitted on this show was he's like a great first round fighter, but after the first round, his gas tank really starts to go, and that's why he was able to leave his neck being susceptible for Battle to get the submission. But yeah, Battle wins, and a great story once again. Another last pick becoming an Ultimate Fighter, and just all around seems like a super nice guy. So I mean, you got to root for someone like that. But moving down to obviously the weight class you focused on, Josh, the bantamweight final, Ricky Turcios versus Brady Heastamp. This fight was awesome. I'm just gonna say that right, like one of the best fights of the night. Just back and forth fight. I don't think Ricky Turcios can have a bad fight. Like every fight he had this season was back and forth. He's got to get a little bloody. His opponent's got to get a little bloody. And then he's just going to find a way to grind it out and come away with the decision. And I thought if you watch this season, Ricky Turcios was the breakthrough guy with just his, fun-loving personality, him getting to do Hadoukens in the octagon after he gets victories. And he Hadoukens his way now to being the bantamweight Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah. I mean, I knew Ricky obviously beforehand, so him and Vinny and Redding House. So I wanted to watch the show and for that to see how they do. And Ricky's like super nice, man, one of the nicest guys ever. And yeah, I'm happy for him. He's like that. He's that type of fighter where it's like you're not gonna see like picturesque perfect strike. You're not gonna see some like crazy powerful double leg super good rate wrestling, but he just like durable and good everywhere. And just like tough, mentally tough, physically tough, and he just scrappy, and he'll make it a scrap with anybody. And he just kind of gets in their face and makes you kind of go, you know what I mean? And he's hard to put away. So that's why I think when he goes in there, no matter who he's fighting, you're going to get something like that, So yeah, good for Ricky, man. I'm happy for him. I wasn't sure when they went to the scorecards. It was close, just kind of depending how you looked at it and how you scored it. But yeah, I'm glad he got the nod.
I'm glad he did too, because I think if you go back and watch the season, like his fights were awesome, first and foremost, and just the personality that he had, and he even showed it on the mic. Like he was more about we got to show peace and love with the energy and the stars. It was a full-on kind of Ultimate Warrior promo, but all about love, and you got to love each other, kind of going Genki Sudo style here. I loved it. I like Turcios, and I think he can be a very competitive bantamweight in the UFC. I mean, he's got enough experience outside of the UFC. He was on the Contender Series in either the first or second season. I can't remember, but he's learned from that and grown. I mean, I've seen some people say it was a great fight between not great fighters, which I don't agree with. But I think Turcios is going to be a fun guy. I don't know what they do with Brady Heastamp because he's still 22. He's got great wrestling, but still definitely needs to round out into a complete package or something. I don't know if they give him maybe like a developmental deal or something.
Yeah, what does that mean, a developmental deal?
It's like, I guess they send you out there.
Oh, okay. So they release you to go fight in a regional show like you would if you're not signed.
Pretty much, but they got their eye on you.
Okay, you just say that then, you know what I mean? Like you don't have to make a word that doesn't really mean shit, It's not like you're not getting paid or something to fight elsewhere, you know what I mean? So it just means, hey, we know who you are, and you might get a call. Just keep working your way up, you know what I mean? That's pretty much what it means, right?
I guess. I mean, I still don't know what they do with Heastamp. Obviously, he didn't win, so
I think he's got some talent, man. Obviously showed his wrestling was good, toughness, landed some good shots too. Like he definitely got some skill. Yeah, he's super young. So
he's really 22.
Yeah, man. Like I wasn't even fighting then. This guy's already in where he's at. So he's super young. He's got lots and lots of career left and learning, but very, very good young prospect for sure.
Yeah, all in all, like I know people were like, "Oh, what Ultimate Fighter finale? Like, what the hell?" Like, normally they build a kind of a card around it. I think they've kind of gone away from that, and I don't even think a lot of people knew there was a season of the Ultimate Fighter, or if not, they watched one episode. Maybe that was it. But I'd say obviously they're going to bring it back. I mean, Dana said, as long as the ratings are good, we're bringing it back. So I'm assuming at some point later on, maybe next year, we'll have another season of The Ultimate Fighter for season 30. And maybe they'll spice it up with bringing some guys back, like a reunion type thing or something like that. I don't know what they could do, but honestly, I think they just are happy with it. And it's kind of just on ESPN Plus anyway. So it just fills content and makes ESPN happy and the UFC happy. So I don't
They
think
should do like, if they're going to do it, for the 30th one, they should do like a comeback Grand Prix style, 2 fights in the same night type thing. You know what I mean? Make it like spice it up like that, like, and like do like every week a different weight class tournament.
Or if you do like the fights, do them live. Like the one season they had, the fights were live. Like it was a longer season, and it sucked if you were on the show.
Yeah, all the guys at Alpha Male were on that season, and they said it was a nightmare. Because you're there for like 16 straight weeks or some shit like that. So it just, there's no way that they said they're never gonna do that one again. But like, something like that where they had like this week is bantamweights, and they have 8 guys and they're fighting. 4 guys and they're fighting twice in a night, and then the winner goes on to the hours. Something different like that. They kind of be cool, but it'll probably just be more of the same shit, right?
I'm positive it'll be more of the same. Just 2 different weight classes, or maybe just 1 weight class. I think that's all we need to know. But I mean, Dana loves it. He's going to continue to do it, so why not? But yeah, that was the feature fights, though. I mean. Daniel Rodriguez. I mean, this guy, he looked fantastic in beating Kevin Lee, going up to 170.
I missed the fight. I didn't see it. I got home at that point right when that was done. But I picked Lee to win. Of course, he didn't. But
yeah, I don't know what's going on with Lee. Honestly, like that was a close fight. I don't think he's done by any means, but I don't know, like. If you're moving up because you think you have a better chance, and then a guy like Daniel Rodriguez, who's tough and durable, beats you, like, do you go back to 155? Do you try 145? I don't even know where he goes from here. It's been a rough couple of years for him.
Making 45, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'm just saying, it's just rough. Like, you got to kind of throw darts at something to try something different.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks, obviously. It just not. The cards aren't going down, falling your way, but it's just, you got to have the mindset of like you're bound to catch a break sooner or later. Something's gonna go right, where it's gonna click. But it is frustrating. I can understand that for sure.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they actually end up making the Sean Brady fight that was supposed to happen not once but twice. Obviously, Lee got hurt, and then Brady got staph, so maybe they make that fight happen. I don't know, but I feel bad for. Kevin Lee there, a guy that I really wish all the best for. But we also had an amazing 17-second knockout from Abdul Razak Al Hassan.
Oh, I did see that,
yeah. 17 seconds, just went in there, wreck shop, and a guy that's pretty much how it's going to go from. Either he's getting knocked out early or he's knocking you out early. So to see Abdul Razak Al Hassan get a big win there.
That was nice.
Did you see the nasty heel hook though from Pat Sabatini on Jamal Emmers? Like that was.
Yeah, but that was like that guy's when you're sitting there 50-50 and you're with your legs like that, it's like roulette, man. Like whoever's gonna land this first, like you're in danger there if you're gonna play. But he's going for a toe hold.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Which I'll take. Give me that heel hook versus toe hold any day of the week. So I think that was just kind of stupid to be laying there and leaving your limbs exposed. You're going for a toe hold. If he wasn't in danger, like if he had his legs, hooked in the other way and he wasn't vulnerable, then sure, you can kind of go for it. But yeah, that was just kind of playing with fire there and he got burnt.
Exactly. And yeah, I feel bad for Emmers. I mean, obviously he had to kind of get stretchered out of there, probably a torn ACL. I don't know. I don't have an update yet, but I mean, you mess with those knees, those knee locks, those knee bars. I mean, that can happen. And Sabatini won out, and unfortunately,
he had a heel hook and he had a crossbody heel hook too, which is even worse. But the problem with heel hook is like, you don't feel any pain until it's kind of too late. You know what I mean? It's just like, okay, I'm good. And then it's like, and then you feel it. So it's like, it's shit. That's why I can get the fuck out of there. You know what I mean? Scramble, get out. or you got to be a master at hooks and be very comfortable with putting them on and defending. But yeah, it's a dangerous game.
Yeah, I mean, ever since Husam Paul Harris was not laying those down on guys, like I'm just always afraid of anyone getting caught in them or anything like that. So, but yeah, that was the UFC. I thought, a card that really over delivered in some great fights. I mean, next weekend's card with Brunson and Till, I believe, like much earlier card too. It starts at like 1:30. So as the show was supposed to be in England, but obviously COVID and they couldn't get everyone over there. And even the Europeans that are trying to get back now for this card, like so many visa issues have affected it. So that's always unfortunate. But moving on to what was Friday night, Josh, that was the PFL. And my God, we talked about pacing last week. Oh, yeah. This show had an hour delay. So obviously some high school football was causing the delay, but that's such a bad look for PFL to have to pretty much turn their first hour where you're trying to maybe gain some viewers or what have you into just a talk show of just interviewing people. Oh my God, it was a nightmare. I felt bad for them. Kind of nothing they could do. They're at the mercy of the network they're on, but still, my God.
Yeah. It's like it just takes forever. It drags on and on, right? So just like you've said that before. Like they gotta figure that out, man, and just.
But even when you're an hour behind schedule, whatever. But like the nerve to run some of these packages on the guys and then go to commercial break. Like sometimes you just gotta throw your hands up and be like, screw it, we gotta cut some of this stuff.
Yeah, like especially being behind an hour. So it's like pretty much act like you lost an hour, so you gotta make it up,
Yeah, exactly. But we got ourselves our final night of the playoffs, which was on Friday, and we were very excited for the featherweights, where we had Brendan Loughnane compete for trying to get in there against Malvid Kabulaev, and Kabulaev, just his wrestling was just too much. Yeah. Honestly, those Dagestanians, you get into a grappling scenario where you don't have to do much to win and put yourself in a big spot. That's what they're going to do, and that's exactly what Kabulaev did. Yeah, man. It was, right away, he got the takedown early, which I think was smart. And then it was kind of, Loughnane just threw a naked kick right off the get-go, and he timed it, boom, takedown, nice timing on it. And I think that kind of set the precedent. And even when you do that with somebody, it's like, okay, when they get up or the next round, it's like, hey, now I'm weary to kind of let go of some of these strikes a lot, right? So that hesitancy there can create openings in the striking for how do you say his name? Madulayev?
Mavlid. Habulaev. Yeah, that's it. Mavlid. I'll just go with that. But yeah, and then he just kind of, those little things that's what Khabib does always. You're always so worried about the takedown, right? And then the hands open up. So, but yeah, that was a good performance on him. Loughnane is tough, durable guy, and very skilled too. But it was the wrestling that was the difference. Yeah, unfortunate for Loughnane as he's become one of the best signings that the PFL's had since getting passed over in the Contender Series. But for Habulaev, this is a guy that trains with Khabib's known Khabib for a long time and still undefeated. His only fight that he didn't get a win in the PFL is a draw. So that was back in 2019. So, this is a guy that's kind of a PFL do or die or lifer almost, going now up against another kind of PFL lifer in Chris Wade, who came so close at 155 to making the finals. And now he does. And really, who would have thought Chris Wade would have out-wrestled Bubba Jenkins? Yeah, man. I picked Bubba to win, and I took Loughnane because he was an underdog. But, of course, both lost. I never win when I actually bet. You're like the Barstool guys at the boxing show last night. But, yeah, I thought, at least if anything, Bubba might get outstruck or whatnot. But, yeah, the wrestling was very surprising. So, it looked good, though, man. It's a fun featherweight. He's big, too. Big for that weight class, right? You could tell. Well, yeah, for sure. For Wade, coming down from 155, right? He's got the natural size advantage on these other guys. But, you beat Bubba Jenkins, who's, a former
featherweight champion for like Brave and you know, kind of manhandled their only champion at 145 and Lance Palmer in the opening round of the tournament. Like, I don't know. I think it's a fun matchup where you have two guys that have kind of been with the PFL. They've been through this circuit before, and they're just PFL guys. That's what you kind of want, right?
Yeah.
In this scenario where I think it'll be a fun matchup too. Like, obviously, if you're Wade, you got to find ways to avoid the takedown. But Abulayev can strike with you, and you can find a way to turn it into a striking match. I mean, I think Wade may have a slight advantage, but I mean, Abulayev is known for having like the best knockout of the PFL with that flying knee against Damon Jackson.
Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah, it's an interesting fight, you know. And Wade showed some good wrestling and whatnot. I just think, yeah, I don't know. If I get to put my money down on it, I go with Abulayev.
Yeah, I would as well. And then, you know, our light heavyweight final, we have Antonio Carlos Jr. Shoeface, a guy that like just got cut by the UFC at the beginning of the year, and then now look, he's just worked his way into a final here with the PFL, beating the former champion in Emiliano Sordi, and up against a fresh face that the PFL found in Martin Hamlet. Though I felt bad for Cesar Ferreira, and I think because of that hour delay, like his hamstring just gave out on him. Like
what was up with that? He just like threw one strike and then he backed up and
he threw a kick, but it was his like plant leg that where the hamstring went. Yeah. I wonder if that's like, you know, you as the fighter would know, like you're warming up, you're ready to go, and then an hour delay, and like your body isn't used to that. Or
I had that happen to me actually on Ultimate Fighter, the fights to get in the house. We were all there, and then I think I was like 2 fights out to go on, so I'm warming up and getting ready, and then they had power outage at the facility. So we were delayed for like over an hour for sure, at least. And so like, yeah, you get those, and it's also nerves too. Like you get those, you know, you kind of warm up and get your body ready, your heart rate up, and you're ready to go. You get yourself in the right mindset, you know. I mean, and then you have the delay, so you kind of got to bring yourself back down. Then you try to blend yourself up again, and then it is. I mean, the other guy's in the same boat too, right? It's so there's no like this guy's, you know, got the advantage or anything like that, but it does suck for sure. I've been there, and it kind of, you got to deal with it. But yeah, maybe that injury, maybe that was a pre-existing, maybe it was a fluke, maybe it was due to the delay, and he kind of warmed up and then stopped and then didn't. I don't know. It got cold maybe, but yeah, kind of fluky. That sucks, man. A really shitty way to lose.
Yeah, I felt so bad there for Cesar Ferreira, but I mean, Martin Hamlet now, you know, wins 17 seconds, and at least he, you know, was gracious enough, didn't land too many devastating blows, because like the fight was over as soon as that kick was thrown. His plant leg hamstring had gone, and I guess at least it's a hamstring. Like if that was a knee, that would be 10 times worse and much longer to come back for. Like a hammy obviously sucks, but an injury you can recover from much more quickly than a knee. But that's our final now. We have Antonio Carlos Jr. Shoeface and Martin Hamlet. So a guy the PFL found and a next UFC guy. But I mean, the light heavyweights are always fun there, and I think this will be an interesting matchup, especially if Shoeface can kind of push it into the championship rounds. Yeah,
for sure. I didn't get really to see much of the Hamlet guy. You know, I got to see him, you know, take one strike, and that was it, basically. But hey, I bet an advantage for him though. Like he's going to the finals now with literally 0 damage done to him.
Yeah, and he's got about 2 months, less than 2 months now, with the finals on October 27th, where we'll have featherweight, men's and women's lightweight, welterweight, and light heavyweight and heavyweight. So, and with, of course, our feature Carlisha Shields fight on there as well. So expect another long night with the PFL potentially, where we have every other fight going potentially can go 5-minute rounds. So
it's like the goddamn WrestleMania. It's like 6 hours long
on a Wednesday too. It's not like a weekend. It's a work day.
Oh wow! Yeah,
Wednesday, October 27th. So we shall see what happens. Though, I mean, I think the fights will be good. I expect Kayla Harrison to do well, and I think obviously the featherweight one, which we talked about, will be fun. But as well, the welterweight fight with Magomed Karimov and Ray Cooper III. Like once again, two PFL guys that are the only champions in this weight class.
Yeah. That's good. That's good for them because they're building their own talent, which is what you want. They're not just using older names or ex-UFC guys right there. So it's good to see that.
It definitely is, and hopefully we can get the pacing worked out. That's just all I beg of you, PFL. I beg of you.
Yeah, I don't know. That shouldn't be a huge issue. They should be able to kind of tie that
This
down.
one for sure shouldn't be a huge issue, especially starting at 6:30. But I know how their shows work. It starts, and then we have to like hype everything up. So it's like 30 minutes of hyping up, which I understand you need to do, but we can do it in a much more condensed, tight way.
Yeah, right. Agreed.
I did like Chael on the broadcast, though.
I love Chael anywhere.
Yeah,
because Chael's just the man. he's just, I don't know, man. Something about that guy, like he's so witty, funny. Obviously knows the game. So I love Chael.
I love Chael too. Hopefully they could bring him back somewhere. I know that's
and Chael works for everyone, man. Like he's worked for Bellator, he's worked for UFC, he's worked for PFL. Like he does the grappling thing. Like he's got everything.
I wish Bellator would have used him more on the commentary booth when he was there.
I wish that I liked when he was there. I remember he did one of my fights. I remember seeing him there. But yeah, I do like him on the anywhere.
Yeah, he's fantastic and definitely brought a lot to the show. And plus, I mean, he could banter with like Randy.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously he's known forever and trained with, and Sean O'Connell, who's their play-by-play guy, former fighter, does a great job as well.
He's good too. Yeah, Sean, and especially for a guy that just was a fighter, he just kind of went into that, right? I don't think did he have any broadcasting experience before or no?
I think he had some, but like not like majorly. But he's doing a great job, and I think the transition, because you don't see in any other sport the ex-athlete being the play-by-play guy, where there's like 10 times more responsibility than just the color guy.
Yeah,
and he's doing a great job. Another guy that's doing a great job is Jose Shorty Torres. He's done some stuff for Titan.
Is he doing play-by-play?
He's their play-by-play guy right now. He's fantastic, actually.
Oh, good. Yeah, I mean, I've seen him have posted stuff like that, but I haven't actually watched any or listened to him do it. But yeah, that would be a task for sure. I mean, knowing just from when we do it, like me as a color on it, I mean, I can handle that. That's not a big deal. But yeah, as far as the play-by-play, that would be, it'd be difficult to do. So yeah, credit to them.
Well, I definitely couldn't do what you do on color. Like color for this sport is the only sport where you really for sure need someone that has done it to actually talk about what's going on.
Yeah, it helps for sure.
Like you could throw like a broadcaster on for football, basketball, hockey for color. Like it could work. Obviously, you want someone with experience, but MMA, you can't just be like, oh, I think he's going for this, and then 10 other things happen in the meantime when you're doing that. So yeah, but shout out to Sean O'Connell, like and Jose Shorty Torres, like making the transition from fighter to play-by-play, and Jose's still fighting too. So.
Yeah, he's still fighting. Yeah, so good on him.
Good for him. I mean, last thing before we get out of here, Josh, is tomorrow. It's the return of the Contender Series. I know we talked about the Ultimate Fighter, but Contender Series, which I think is a much better platform in a way than I guess the Ultimate Fighter right now. It's more fun. It's more like in the now. I mean, the fights are live. Obviously, that helps a lot. And it's just a year where they're really scouting a lot of the international guys, whether you're from Brazil, Russia, Canada, and anywhere around the world. Really, they're trying to find much more European talent for this show. But yeah, we're another 10 weeks of guys trying to fight for their contracts.
Holy shit.
Yeah, August 31st to November 2nd, Josh. It's a long stretch.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, good for the guys. I mean, it's good opportunities. Like we talked about before, I'm not a huge fan of the how it goes, you know what I mean? But I mean, it's a good opportunity for guys, so that's awesome. And you'll see some good fights out of it too, which is great. So yeah, I mean, right on. I didn't realize it was that long though. I thought it was shorter than that.
It used to be shorter. Like obviously it used to be just kind of like a summer thing. It would end actually about now, but I guess with how they did it last year with the pandemic, even though they had a break in it, they're making it much longer, trying to find a lot more international talent too, probably trying to work out that visa stuff to get them into the States or what have you. But yeah, it's going to be a long stretch of things. But I mean, there's a couple Canadians that we know that are going to be on there. Obviously, Aaron Jeffrey getting another crack at the can. Jasmine Jasdavicius is going to be on there. There's another Canadian there that's escaping me, but his fight isn't for another couple weeks.
Who was that? I don't even know.
I'm trying to remember right now. It's
From like out west or from?
Yeah, it's an out west guy. I think it's Chad and Heller, actually. That's who it is.
Oh, is he on that? Is he on
Yeah.
that? Okay, yeah. I remember. I know that name.
But yeah, I mean, it's good for those guys. I mean, a guy like Aaron, who's been through the experience, I think has an advantage over most people that are competing this year on the show.
For sure. You know, you've been there, you've done that, you've gone through the process, you know, and he's lost on it. And so he can definitely use that. You know what I mean? You kind of, that is 100% an advantage for sure, I'd say. So he's going to look to use that and get the win here and get a hopefully signed.
Yeah, I think for sure that's obviously his goal. I mean, he's done pretty much everything kind of asked for him outside of losing on the Contender Series before. Like, he's got a lot of finishes in his time off, you know, whether it was an SFT, you know, had a big win in the main event of an LFA show against the guy that was just on the Ultimate Fighter, that was a #1 seed in that weight class, and then beat a guy that won on the Contender Series last year in Colin Huckbody to win the CFFC middleweight title. And I know he wasn't happy with that performance, but that's a major regional organization you won a championship in, and now you're here to finally hopefully punch your ticket. So I wish Aaron nothing but the best, and I believe his fight isn't until the end of September anyway.
Right. Yeah, I think you're right. But yeah, I think, yeah, hopefully, I think he'll do well, you know, and I hope so. So yeah, he's definitely done everything up to this point for sure.
I mean, plus he's now been out there in Vegas at Syndicate for like 2 months, it seems like.
Hey man, if I was a single guy, no, you know, kids are tied down here with anything, no businesses, no work, you know, why not, man? And also, even more so for him, there's lack of big guys in Canada. You know, we talked about that. So anything above 170, you know, even 55, you know, it starts to kind of teeter down. And yeah, so he needs to have some good bodies around him that are his size or bigger to push him. So I think it's a smart move.
Well, we shall see how this season goes. I mean, obviously it really just depends on Dana's mood, which I know a lot of people don't like. And there's going to be one guy that you think for sure deserves a contract, but it's going to get snubbed, whoever that may be, whether it's who's going to be this year's Brendan Loughnane or Anthony Romero, who actually is fighting this Sunday for Fury in Texas.
Oh, is it Sunday?
Yeah.
Okay. I knew it was this weekend. I didn't know it was Sunday though. Okay, cool.
Fury fighting, man. They have like 3 cards in a row for Sundays. I mean, they're the forefront of the Sunday afternoon mixed martial arts event.
Yeah. I mean, it would be weird to fight on a Sunday just because you're just so used to fighting on a Friday or Saturday, right? But yeah, I don't know if I've done a Sunday. I've done a Wednesday, I've done a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and I've even done a Monday, but I don't think I've done a Sunday.
I mean, we just broadcast a Sunday. That was weird too.
That was weird, yeah. But I liked it, man. I dug it, you know. It was cool. And it was earlier too, right? We were done by like, what, 6?
Yeah, 6 o'clock. So. It was weird having dinner and like the whole night ahead of you.
Yeah, which I kind of liked it. I didn't mind it. You know, get a nice show and then you go for a nice dinner, and then you got a night to do whatever you want. So I dig it.
Well, it helped we were also connected to a casino where there was a lot of options you could have done after your night of college fights.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, Contender Series is back. I love it. I think you get to see a lot of great prospects and people fighting for, you know, their dreams, and you usually get some pretty good fights out of it. It depends on Dana's mood. He's come back from his vacation and he's happy enough, and he signs
you got to try and get on a week where you know that he's coming back, which is crazy. But I mean, that's just how it is.
Definitely want to talk to Dana's receptionist or whatever. Like, has Dana come back from a vacation? Because I need to fight the week after that. So, but yeah, I mean, for this week, everyone's weighed in. They've all made weight, so that's always a good thing. And yeah, it should be a fun season of guys trying to earn their right and their opportunities.
Yeah, cool. I mean, we'll see who kind of like is the next breakout star of that show or that series. I guess you've had some good ones. So
had some good ones. We had Alex Perez back in November be the first guy from that show fight for a title.
Right.
When he fought Figueiredo back in November, unfortunately lost in about a minute and a half, but still that shows the kind of talent that do compete on this show.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many good guys everywhere now, man. Every promotion you go to, there's killers. Even the regional shows, there's killers that could easily contest with guys in the big shows. You know what I mean? So, it's just so many good guys now. It's just not how it used to be, where you get this huge drop off in talent. You know what I mean? Everybody's so good. So, which is one good thing. It makes for interesting fights, right? So exciting.
It makes for interesting fights, but it goes to show how good, I guess, the European scene, the guys that aren't in North America, because before it was just pretty much North American guys coming on here. Now there's just a sea of international talent on here a lot. So it shows how much the sport has grown, whether it's in, obviously it was big in Russia, but whether you're in Italy or like Uzbekistan or something like that, these guys are getting an opportunity that they wouldn't have before. So I think that's what makes this season a lot exciting, to see the international flair of season 5. Can't believe it's been 5 seasons already of Dana White's Contender Series. So with that, we will wind down another episode here. Episode 44, Josh. Can you
44?
Next week's the Jordan episode, the Jordan comeback episode.
The Jordan comeback episode, 45?
Yeah.
I always forget about that. I just obviously think. I remember when I watched Space Jam for the very first time when I was a kid, and I didn't really get it because he was always 23, right? I didn't know Jordan was 23. And then at the end, they show him playing basketball. He's got 45 on him. I'm like, who's that guy? but yeah, he came back. It's 45.
Oh, man. Great movie. One of the best movies I've seen in theaters. I remember definitely wanted to go see that, and had all the Space Jam gear.
The OG one, right? Not the new.
I haven't seen the new one. I mean, if I was a kid, I'd probably want to see the new one. But the OG one, I mean, I had action figures. I had a backpack that had a basketball net with a ball that you could like shoot. Very, very cool marketing.
Cool. I remember the CD. The CD was fucking dope.
Oh, the soundtrack's amazing.
That's Basketball Jones and Fly Like an Eagle. R. Kelly before he was Creep, right?
No, that was Seal.
Seal. That's right. But
R. Kelly is on there though.
Yeah. What song was he?
I Believe I Can Fly.
That's what it was. Thank you. Yeah, I knew he was on there with something, but yeah. Classic CD.
The Seal. End credits with Seal.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Fantastic.
Great.
Yes, I have not seen the new one though.
I mean, I don't like LeBron to begin with, but I have seen, like, my stepson had it on, and I watched, I don't know, about 15, 20 minutes of it, and I wasn't really into it, man. It wasn't they have, well, the only cool thing, I guess, is had all the Warner Brothers characters there as, like, spectators. So there's, like, the Mask and Pennywise, and everybody's in the crowd, which is the only cool thing about it.
Oh, well, that's kind of neat. I mean, I know you're a big movie guy. I did watch that new John Cena movie that's on Disney Plus, like Vacation Friends. I don't know if you've seen it yet.
No.
It's fairly new. All in all, like, at least it's an hour and 45 minutes. It's a very easy watch.
Yeah.
The plot's all over the fucking place. But Cena is great in it. And I will say he's definitely making a killing right now in the realm of Hollywood, whether it's that movie or the Fast and the Furiouses or.
Oh, buddy. Like, you know what? Like, I like Fast and Furious. I mean, I remember going to the theater. My dad took me when I was 15 or something like that, 14, before I even have a license, but I already wanted a car because of that. It was a classic movie. And even though it was a ripoff of Point Break. But then even
Point Break, awesome movie.
Yeah, legendary. But the first 5, I'd say, were actually good. I liked them. Even like some people didn't like the second one or the third one, Tokyo Drift, but I didn't mind those. And then 4 and 5 are kind of later. They sprung, but then after that, they just like, and now it's almost a parody. I put the new one. I haven't even seen the 8th one because it's just, I can't even watch it. It's just junk. But I put on the 9th one day as a kind of a joke, just to see how long I could watch it for. Literally 15 minutes in, I was like, I got to turn this off. This is pathetic. Yeah,
they've lost the plot. They went from car racing to I guess they're like CIA agents and stuff.
Oh, they're going for 2 more movies. They're 11. 11th, and the last one's gonna be the 11th one, which is crazy.
Apparently, they're like doing a collaboration with that franchise and another franchise. I've seen that.
Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, are they gonna be in space? And Dom's
something like that. It's like something so outrageous, but that's what Hollywood is right now. Let's just throw these franchises together. We have no original ideas, so we're either gonna remake a movie that's been done before, or turn that movie that's been done to a television show for our streaming service, or we're gonna just make a book from an autobiography into a movie.
Him and Paul Walker driving off end of the franchise. Should have been ended there. Would have been perfect. But
I did see a thread on like Twitter. It was like, pick your favorite movie from 2000, 2001. I'm like, wow, film has gone so downhill from like the beginning of the 2000s to where we're at now. Like, I have no reason.
Same with music too, bro.
Music's worse, I think, than film.
Yeah, 2004 or 5,
especially rap. Like I don't even know who's out there anymore. Honestly,
I don't know all these young like little Nas, little Easy, like all these
all little
guys. Yeah,
all little.
But yeah, I'd say 2004 5 was like the turning point. I think in.
I'd say 2007. I'd say 2007.
2007? Well, you're giving a little more. Yeah, I'd say, I'm going to go with 5 as mine. But
when, like, auto-tune started to become a thing.
How do you know what that is?
It's like if you ever listen to a T-Pain track, it's pretty much like where you can't sing, but the computer makes it sound like you can sing.
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
So, since like then, I would say about that point, rap really went downhill.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Or you gotta figure out, maybe that guy is a good rapper, but no one's gonna care because
I think after the whole 50 Cent, G Unit, D12 era kind of faded, it was like, okay.
Now you're talking about G Unit, 50 Cent, and then like what was going on down. Like rap had flavor, rap had interest. Now it's all the same.
Nelly, St. Lunatics, I love Nelly. You know what I mean?
All the songs sound the same now. Like no one separates themselves.
No.
It's like a UFC deal where everyone just looks the same.
Looks the same. Yeah. Generic corporate.
Corporate hip hop. Yeah, I don't know, but sorry for going on a tangent, everyone there. But, I mean, it had to be done. It had to be done about this.
We need a movie podcast now, and talk. I could go for hours on this one, right?
Dude, we for sure could, because there's 10 bajillion great movies out there that I mean that need to be talked about, especially that Point Break is definitely Keanu Reeves' best movie. I will still stand by that.
Johnny Utah,
Utah, give me 2.
Fast and Furious is a copycat of that. You know what I mean?
I believe so. Yes, I love Point Break though.
Oh,
we put it on over like Easter, and it was like the whole family had to like gather around. It's like, it's on. You have to watch the whole end of this movie.
Yeah, you have to. Keanu and Swayze, classics.
Keanu, Swayze, Anthony Kiedis.
Yeah,
he's in there.
Yeah.
Well, whole movie podcast. I mean, there's a whole MMA realm of movies that are out there too. I mean, I can't wait to see this Halle Berry MMA movie, which is coming to Netflix in like November.
Halle Berry's hot, bro. So I'm down to see that.
She's for sure that, but she's also a talented actress. So
sure,
I think she's a fan enough of MMA where she's going to give it a good passion project. So it's a passion project, but I think she's going to do a real good job with this film with Valentina Shevchenko in it as, I guess, the rival fighter.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, that's cool. I mean, yeah, I'll watch it for sure.
Definitely puts a shine on Invicta, where I guess the promotion sit around.
All right.
I guess lastly, did you see anything? I know Invicta had a show the same time as PFL. I know a lot of people didn't watch it, but Emily Ducote had like arguably the knockout of the year.
I did see the knockout. Yeah, it was the double knockout.
That was like a Mortal Kombat knockout.
Just the poor girl out on her feet, standing. You know, if she just fallen, it would have just, goddamn, that head kick after just the target, like it was like just a heavy bag sitting there,
The ref could have stopped it after the punch because she was just so slumped out. He could have, but he didn't. Which he does have the discretion not to there. But man, poor Daniel Taylor right there.
Yeah,
that was rough. I felt bad for her, and considering that's now plastered all over, TV and the internet right now, and you got to come over that and whatever. But good for Emily Ducote, a girl that's was in Bellator for a while and just couldn't find a way to win that 115 championship from Lee Malay. But now she's got an Invicta gold and starts that new era for Invicta out there with them on Access, and Misha Tate's now on their broadcast team.
Oh, is she? Okay, cool.
She was pretty good, and the master of Thug Jitsu, Yves Edwards.
Oh yeah, nice. Yves classy.
Yeah, I love Yves. Yves has one of my favorite knockouts of all time. It's Berto in Elite XC. But we've definitely rambled a little long here. But that's they're going to do it for this episode. Josh, I mean, if people want to go find where your great memes are and what have you, tell them where they can find your Instagram.
At Gentleman J Hill. You can always find me there.
All right, Josh. Well, thank you for spending the time. We'll be back next week to break down all the happenings of mixed martial arts and the realm of combat sports. So for my broadcast partner, Gentleman Josh Hill, I'm Jason Hagholm. Peace out. Have a great week, everyone.